Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our talk at the pavilion here at the K 2016 in Düsseldorf. We are talking about one of the most important topics of this trade show, which is ready for Industry 4.0. And my guests of today I would like to present to you now first. It is Dr. Karlheinz Bourdon, Senior Vice President Integration of KraussMaffei. Welcome to our group.
Hello.
Then next to me, welcome Mr. Heinz Gaub, Managing Director Technology and Engineering of Arburg. Welcome. Then Thorsten Kühmann, Managing Director of VDMA Plastics and Rubber Machinery. Welcome to you as well. And last but not least, welcome to you, Ulrich Reifenhäuser, board member, management board member, sales of Reifenhäuser and chairman of VDMA Plastics and Rubber Machinery. Mr. Kühmann, what can VDMA contribute to Industry 4.0?
Well, that's quite simple. This is the first time here on K 2016 that we can really showcase Industry 4.0. And that is our main target. Together with our member companies, there are very fine examples of Industry 4.0. And we want to show this, and we want to show that Industry 4.0 works for the industry.
Ulrich Reifenhäuser, at the last K, I quite remember well that some of the exhibitors were talking about Industry 4.0, but most of the industry was still uncertain what the shots will go to. This year, 2016, I think the message is quite clear for everybody here at the K. How do you see this quick development of the industry from 3 years ago to this today's status?
3 years ago, we got the message, yes, there is a new subject. We understood what is behind that, and then what the companies, not only Reifenhäuser, the big companies did is, they sit down and think, what should we do? And if you really want to do something, and if you want to achieve something, you have to put sources. And sources are only two things. It's money and time. Time of the high brainers in your company. And this is what we did, and this is what our colleagues did in the other companies. Teams were formed, and fairly real intelligent guys started to think, what can we do with these ideas? And 3 years later, yes, the status is much different than 3 years ago. We had an idea. Today, we still have a big idea, and the idea is fairly bigger than 3 years ago. We have a vision where to go and how to go. And some quite nice first results are presented on the shows. So the question mark, no, not the question mark, the target is bigger than 3 years ago, but we made some quite good steps on that road that will continue for many years to be filled up.
Dr. Bourdon, if you look into other industries, beside the plastics industries, how do you judge the difference? Is it that the plastics and the rubber machinery companies have understood and learned their lessons already maybe better than other branches? Because if you look at this K in 2016, almost every exhibitor does focus on Industry 4.0. How do you judge that in comparison?
I think that the plastics and rubber machinery industry has learned its lesson. I think while 3 years ago a lot of companies were kind of observing and hesitating, now everybody has developed his idea of Industry 4.0. We at KraussMaffei, we call it Plastics 4.0. I think young people are working in our development departments and have really created new ideas, because I think to deliver a good machine is not good enough to be competitive for us in the future. We think about not only good machines, but intelligent machines, but also how to integrate those machines in the manufacturing area of our customers. And we also think about interactive services.
Heinz Gaub, the question that I often hear when walking about these exhibitions, like K, for example, is this industry trend driven by the machine manufacturers, or is it driven by your customers? Is that something your customers ask for? Do they force you to offer Industry 4.0 solutions, or is it something that is developed in your R&D departments and then offered to the market?
Our customer range is quite diverse, and if you consider large customers in the automotive industry, automotive supplier, for example, Bosch and Conti, of course, these are customers that are driving Industry 4.0 in their own factories as well, so it's clearly driven by them. On the other end, we have relatively small customers, and many of them small injection molding shops, a couple of million in sales, but very high tech. And these companies, they're focusing on other technologies. So we are kind of in the middle of them, and we are trying to adapt what we hear from the big customers. We have our own input in technology development, and we did that many years and decades ago at Arburg when it was called computer integrated manufacturing back in the 80s. And today, of course, the challenge is that also for the smaller companies or for the ones that are very process and technology driven, to convince them that the meeting of information technology and production technology on the shop floor is good for their efficiency and competitiveness in the future.
When talking about Industry 4.0 and looking into the global markets, the question is, could we really achieve an advantage as far as competition is concerned? You know the worldwide markets. You have your companies all over the world, like all the others here on stage as well. You are real global players. So how do you judge this Industry 4.0 trend in comparison, for example, to the Industry of Things in the US or in Japan or in China? Are we ahead, or do we still have to enforce our forces into this direction?
Honestly speaking, I don't know. I know what we do in Industry 4.0. I don't know what the US guys really do, and I don't know what the Japanese guys do. But we have a real good speed, and I would like to come back to your question to him. Who's driving whom? And I think, yes, the machine builders should bring the platform, and then it has to be a cooperation. And with interesting conversations, you then think about what is possible, what is needful, what makes sense, what brings customers value. So, but now coming back to the international thing, we have to do it the way German machine builders normally do. We have to do it very intensive. We have to do it with the right sense. And we have to do it in cooperation with our customers. And those customers are internationally. They are US guys and German, European, and Asians. With these customers we are talking, and they are very interested in our subject, in the whole, in the whole subject. And we are working and moving forward and finding what the market really needs. Up to now, it's really tailor-made solutions. And out of these tailor-made solutions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we might find a basis that we say, okay, this could be a basis for Industry 4.0, and then continue to go in more perfection in the next levels. I think we have a good chance, and Industry 4.0, as the German industry is now working on it, might bring a real advantage to our machine, especially to the plastic machineries.
Because, Dr. Bourdon, in the beginning, I remember it was some kind of political approach to say we have to join our forces, we have to make a powerful German industry, and Industry 4.0 might be a good solution to have standards defined in order to work together as well in comparison to the other international players and competitors. Do you think we achieved already this political goal, or is there still a way to go?
I think we are in good shape as of K 2016. Personally, I think we have a unique opportunity because in terms of process know-how, I'm convinced Europe is still producing benchmark machines. And if we combine this process know-how with modern technologies like Industry 4.0, we can deliver new benefits to our customer better than our competition outside Europe. And if we make use of this opportunity and keep going and reinforce our historical strengths with these new approaches, I think we are in good shape for the future, and that's what I feel.
Thorsten Kühmann, when I walk through these exhibition halls here, on every, let's say, second or third machine, there is a sticker saying smart. Smart machine, smart process, smart service. Do you think that Industry 4.0 made this entire industry a little bit smarter than it was before?
Well, I think so. I think that, coming back to the other question, I think that this is highly driven by the customer. And as the customer demands more flexibility, more productivity, lower costs, the machine manufacturers strive to get smart machines. So it is customer driven, and they go to smart machines. I cannot judge whether every machine having this signé smart is really smart, but this is definitely something that the customer wants to see, and we need to explain.
Heinz Gaub, the question that many people asked some years ago, I don't know if it's still the case in 2016, but the question was, how does Industry 4.0, or how can Industry 4.0 contribute to better profits, to better turnovers? How can the industry, the plastics and rubber machinery industry, take advantage of this trend? Can that already be answered? Is there already an improvement in terms of turnover and profit, or is it still too early to say that?
I would say that it's already a lot of Industry 4.0 components. We talked about the smart machine just before, has been implemented already. The term smart machine is not necessarily very new. It's a new term, and also Industry 4.0 is a new term, but the technology and the advancement, the innovations behind it are not necessarily new. So machines that have sensors to control themselves, to observe certain key parameters and have actors to act against them, to have certain movements according to the sensor signals. This is a technology that has been in the market for electrical machines for quite a while. And certainly this sensor-equipped machine and actor-equipped machine certainly contributes to better production efficiency in the machinery users. So to answer your question, yes, I think it's already on the way to put the producers, the machine users, in a more profitable and more competitive situation. The full benefit, though, that comes with Industry 4.0 when it comes to networked machines, to remote serviced machines, this is still on the way and still something for us as machine builders to work on.
Dr. Bourdon, one of the questions people are asking themselves when talking about Industry 4.0 is also the usage of data. It's all about data. We have big data being handled by all kind of manufacturers that in the past didn't have those tasks to do. Now everybody has to offer a certain competence as far as data is concerned. Is that something that is already dominated by the manufacturer, or is there still a learning curve we have to go through in order to handle both the technical and the physical hardware stuff and the software and the data?
I think it's not done yet. We are at the beginning of that development, but to keep it very simple, I think it all starts with the question whether our customers are prepared to give us access to their production data. Because if we get this access, we can provide services by analyzing those data, which has a lot of benefit back to them. But first of all, we have to earn the confidence of our customers that their data are safe with us. That's why I think one of the most important issues is, are these data safe? And we have to prove this. And in terms of that, I think we are just at the beginning. People are very reluctant, our customers are very reluctant to give us their production data. But I think things are changing, and in the future, people will be much more prepared to do this because they see more the benefit. Like, when your production site is 5,000 miles away, it's much easier by having access to control something which is not okay, rather than to send an engineer there. If you can do it by remote, that saves a lot of cost and is very much more efficient.
Ulrich Reifenhäuser, let's go into details. Let's talk about the practical use of Industry 4.0 in your machines. Let's talk about, for example, smart services. You are focusing as well on smart services. What does that mean, and what can you offer with these new technologies to your customers?
When we talk about smart services, it's, for example, maintenance. If you gather the data of the machine, you recognize something is happening. If you did this quite some time, and if you had some algorithm, then Industry 4.0 or the program tells you there is something that is special, you should exchange.
That means beforehand.
Before. And then you go and really make an inspection, look at it, and you identify by code. And then you say, okay, I have to take the part out. And you have, for example, a laptop or a tablet. And then you get a video how to take it out. So these are some very practical and very useful services that are provided. But the most important thing is, by getting the data being gathered and analyzed and taking the right diagnostic out of that the machine, the system tells you, look at this part, and there should be a maintenance. So we are offering this.
Okay, so you support your customer to reduce downtimes and to increase efficiency.
That's exactly. The targets of Industry 4.0 is quality increasement, more productivity, efficiency, flexibility. These are the targets what we are behind. And yes, with the systems we are working on, we coming closer and closer, and help our customers to improve. And yes, our customers have chances to save costs, to be more flexible, to provide better quality, so there will be real values.
What other values can you offer to your customers, as far as a smart process is concerned, a smart machine is concerned?
Well, the smart machine, starting with the smart machine, the process stability and the reliability of the machine is much higher. When it comes to smart production, a set of networked machines with a manufacturing execution system brings a lot more transparency of the actual efficiency, quality, status of a factory. And third, smart services with condition monitoring and predictive maintenance can bring an early set of information to the machine user itself and to the machine builder about a required maintenance procedure in the near future. But I agree fully with Dr. Bourdon. The faith and the confidence of the customer in anyone who is having electronic access to the machine controller is a very critical point. A typical injection molding shop, a plastics part producer, their know-how, their brainware, their competitive advantage is in the machine data, in the setup data in the machine belonging to an individual tool for an individual set of parts. This is what they very carefully have to protect, and anyone having access to that set of data is having direct access to the company's core know-how. So they have to be sure we use these data very carefully. Transparency in smart production is good as long as it is for the production manager and for the company's production itself. But what is technically possible will eventually also be required by this plastics parts producers' customers. And if they require the same level of transparency into the machine's core process know-how, then it's getting a bit critical for the parts producer.
Thorsten Kühmann, the topic of our talk is ready for Industry 4.0. One of the prerequisites of being really ready for this trend is standardization.
Absolutely.
We're talking about standardization all the time, and everybody tells me that is the first thing we have to do. And the companies here in Germany were all obviously able to cope with that. You have managed to set standards, and you have a very, very impressive understanding among the companies of how the standards have to be set in order to be successful in the future. How do you judge that from the perspective of VDMA?
I underline this is a very crucial and very important point. Now, Industry 4.0 will only work if companies work together, manufacturers and along the process chain. If in order to do that, they need standards. What we don't want is to give the impression that due to Industry 4.0, the customer has only got the choice to work together with one company, with one manufacturer. And to open up and to give the variety, we've got those standards which actually are accessible for everyone. We've got one demonstrator here. We are right at the beginning of those standardization processes. We know we need those standards. We've got one demonstrator here that's interface between injection molding machine and the central computer. This demonstrator, being here on K, is connected with 7 machines. They are all operating here on K, and they deliver the information to that one terminal. And that shows it works. It shows that our companies are willing to do this. And this is not by the way, it's not a closed job for Germany. It's this standard is already European, and others are really welcome to join in. So this is an open standard. That's the way how we want to handle Industry 4.0 in a very open way.
How did you experience this standardization process during the last month and years, we could say? Was that satisfying to you, or how do you judge this cooperation between the different companies and the VDMA?
Well, in Europe, especially in VDMA, we have a long tradition to set standards, for example, for injection molding machines. And we are doing this for a long time. So I had no doubt that we would be very successful with, for example, Euromap 77, being the successor of Euromap 63. And I think it's also giving kind of a direction to the world market of, in this case, injection molding machines. So I was not surprised that this was a success, and I think we are just doing what we did for the last 30 years, maybe a little bit more focused, and that's good. We are strong competitors, but at the same time, we have common interest when it comes to standardization, because this is good for everybody of us here in Europe. But I like to elaborate a little bit on this smart machine thing, because I'm working now for 30 years in this industry, and we always wanted to have the process constant, to generate constant quality of the parts that we produce. And yes, we do this because, especially with electrical machines, you know, the machine movements, the behavior of the machine, shot by shot, is almost the same. Not perfectly, because we have some elements in the machine that never will be constant, like the check valve in the injection unit. So we changed our mind and took a different approach. And 2 years ago, KraussMaffei introduced something in the market, belongs to the intelligent machine, which we call APC, Advanced Process Control. And the philosophy of this idea is completely different, because we don't want to have the machine repeat the same behavior shot by shot, but we want to have constant the quality of the part. So if, for example, your quality of the resin changes, your machine must not be doing the same as it did before. So you need to change something, but you need to change your process in an intelligent way. And this is what APC is doing. And it was very surprising to us how receptive the market was to this idea. We have now, in the year 2016, 40% of our machines equipped with APC. Now we have a new version, it's APC Plus, but 30% of our machines are equipped with these options. Obviously, people like it.
One of the sentences that impressed me during our little discussion was that you said you are taking more influence on the processes together with your customers. That means you are becoming a partner which is incorporated in the development process, not only of the product, but the entire product chain of your customers. Is that increasing, or do you note that already, that the value of your company as part of the entire value chain, for example in the automotive industry or in the textile industry or whatsoever, that your value as a machine manufacturer increases? Mr. Gaub?
Yeah, it certainly does, because I think all of us, we are today much more than a mere machine manufacturer and machine deliverer. What we are building in close cooperation with our customers today are more manufacturing cells or manufacturing centers, including certain automation components, of course, but also including process development. What the customer is desiring today and what they're buying from a company like Arburg, but KraussMaffei is the same, of course, what they're buying are turnkey solutions. The customer required a full manufacturing cell with material selection, process development, automation development, a full turnkey solution that after the acceptance in our factories can be transferred to a production site of the customer, turn the key and start producing. So it's much more than just a machine today, including a lot of software.
We have talked now nearly 30 minutes. It's unbelievable. It felt like 5 minutes only. Of course, we cannot discuss this entire thing completely. But I think we should leave some of the tension to the people coming to the K and then discuss together with you on each of your exhibition booths, because all of you are exhibiting those new technologies. You are looking far into the future of production, and I think coming to the K, coming to Düsseldorf in 2016 is extremely exciting to everybody who is interested in innovative and state-of-the-art technology. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here on our little stage here at the TV Pavilion. We will be here the entire week until the end of the case. So please come back, discuss with us, discuss with the VDMA about those future trends. Thank you again. Thank you for watching. And if you like, we meet again tomorrow for our next talk at the Pavilion. Thank you.